When the last star in the Altaran cluster flickered behind the drifting carcass of a shattered war barge, the battlefield fell eerily silent. For centuries, the Varkari Dominion had conquered every species that dared to resist their spined armadas. They had reduced planets to cinders and wiped out entire civilizations with no remorse. But they had never faced the species called humanity. Admiral Saran Vakos, draped in living armor that pulsed like a heartbeat, watched the new arrivals through the warped glass of her flagship's command spire. She had laughed when her scouts first reported an unregistered Terran flotilla approaching the war zone. Humanity, she believed, was a myth, primitive mammals rumored to have driven back the Cerny hive 1,000 years ago. Even if they existed, no force could challenge the Dominion's power. She was wrong. The first human vessels emerged from a pinprick of white fire, unfolding themselves from extra-dimensional space like spectral giants stepping onto a battlefield. Their hulls shimmered with liquid silver plating, each contour alive with dancing patterns of shifting code. The flagship, the HSS Resolute Endurance, dwarfed even the largest Varkari dreadnought. Dozens of escort cruisers, their engines glowing with pale blue gravitic distortions, arrayed themselves in a perfect wedge formation. Vakos ordered her entire fleet, more than 800 capital ships, to open fire. Waves of antimatter torpedoes streaked across the void, each capable of obliterating a small moon. Beams of annihilation energy stitched lethal lines across the darkness. She waited for the human fleet to shatter under the Dominion's combined barrage. Instead, the beams simply vanished when they struck the humans' event horizon shields. The torpedoes detonated in a ripple of harmless motes, like fireworks celebrating their own futility. And then the humans replied. No sound carried across the vacuum, but the Dominion's sensor arrays were overwhelmed by a single, incomprehensible pulse of energy. In less than a second, every Varkari vessel began to disintegrate at the molecular level. Armor plates dissolved into a haze of particulate dust. Weapons evaporated into streams of raw data. Crews died without knowing how they had been unmade. Vakos screamed in fury as her flagship structure melted around her. She activated every failsafe, every temporal anchor, every forbidden technology her scientists had stolen from extinct races. Nothing could stop the collapse. Through the widening breach in her command spire, she glimpsed the human fleet advancing. Their hulls glowed brighter, as if each ship were a living star. Vakos realized too late that she was witnessing the end of her people's dominion. Her last thought before dissolution was not of rage or vengeance, it was awe. The humans never fired another shot. They simply continued past the drifting debris, their vessels unhurried, immaculate, unstoppable. Aboard the Resolute Endurance, Fleet Marshal Elias Kincaid watched the sensor feeds with quiet detachment. He did not celebrate. There was no triumph in annihilating an enemy that had forced this response. They gave us no choice, he said softly. Record it. Let history know we did not come here as conquerors. The AIs acknowledged his command, broadcasting a single message across all frequencies in every known tongue. Humanity does not seek war. But we will end it. And so the Warfront fell silent. In moments, the galaxy's most feared marauders had been erased from existence. Rumors spread faster than light itself, of a species that wielded weapons beyond comprehension, that showed no malice yet no mercy. To some, it was the dawn of hope. To others, it was a warning. When humanity's fleet arrives, the age of tyrants ends.